Journalism, they say, is the fourth pillar of democracy. But what happens to journalism in the absence of democracy? Pakistan makes for a classic case study. It is a military establishment masquerading as a democracy. Article 19 of Pakistan's constitution guarantees freedom of speech and expression. It also guarantees freedom of press with certain restrictions. But try exercising any of this. Best case scenario, you'll be muzzled. Worst case, you'll be murdered. The censorship in Pakistan is the law of the land. Journalism, a crime. Journalists are often punished for doing their job. Tonight, I'll tell you the story of one such journalist. His name is Matiullah Jan. He was abducted on the 21st of July. It happened in broad daylight in the capital city of Islamabad. The abduction was caught on camera to boot. The CCTV footage went viral. It grabbed the attention of people in Pakistan and outside Pakistan. Questions were raised about Islamabad's crumbling law and order. Some netizens compared the Pakistani establishment to a terror group. Others called the country a banana republic. Prayers poured in for this man. Matiullah Jan's abduction became the talk of the town. Soon, Pakistan's judiciary had to step in. Turns out, Matiullah Jan was supposed to appear in Pakistan's apex court today. He was expected to speak in support of a judge who is known for his strong verdicts against the military in Pakistan. Can you join the dots now? The judge's name is Faiz Issa. You can Google him. He's currently facing charges for failing to declare his assets. Do you know why? Because he's tipped to become the Chief Justice of Pakistan in 2023. The Chief Justice of Pakistan, the potential Chief Justice, also a man who has been critical of the military. Of course, the Pakistani military does not want this to happen. Anyway, that's a story for another day. My point is that Matiullah Jan was supposed to speak in favor of this judge today. It did not take time for people to realize that his abduction was an attempt by Pakistan's military to keep him away from the courtroom. The truth was out in the open, and pressure began building on Pakistan's authorities, or the military, or the ISI, whatever you call them. It's all the same, the lines are blurred. Pakistan was being criticized by human rights groups, by diplomats, and even some of its own politicians. And the pressure grew so much that in a rare move, the abductors had to release Matiullah Jan. He was freed late at night after being held captive for around 12 hours. He tweeted that he's back home, he's safe and sound, but the story is not over. It is now playing out in Pakistan's courts. The case was first heard by the Islamabad High Court. The court slammed the Islamabad police. Who abducted Matiullah Jan, asked the court. The judges had some strong worded statements. Justice Atar Minallah said, and I quote, "The impression being given to common man is that police in uniform can operate with impunity. How come such incidents happen? They need to come to a halt. Journalists should not be subjected to such behavior." The court has ordered an independent inquiry into the abduction. The case was also heard by Pakistan's apex court, but independent inquiries are not enough. If Pakistan wants to do away with abductions and enforce disappearances, it must address the root cause of the problem. Intolerance for freedom of speech and expression. There have been many cases of brazen censorship in the last 1 year alone. Distribution of leading newspapers was interrupted in Pakistan. Television channels were taken off air for giving platform to opposition leaders. Journalists were harassed for doing their job. 4 journalists and 1 blogger were killed. And guess what? The perpetrators were given absolute immunity. I'll wrap with a question. Is this how a democracy functions?